Hi, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, doing the trade review for both ES and NQ for Tuesday, April 1st, 2014. So welcome to a new month. And man, we got started off with a bang. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so in the market preview, which you can see in the video right below, that's posted right below here on my blog, I said a couple of things this morning. First of all, we were pushing highs on both NQ and ES. NQ has been the weaker sister between NQ and ES for 2 weeks now. So the fact that NQ was pushing in the morning already was a big sign to me that I expected, at least in the first half hour, for us to drive higher into the 9 a.m. economic data. The other thing that I pointed out over the last couple of weeks is that we've actually been getting a two-sided trade going from ES, meaning we've been having good rotations both from higher and lower. I've been mentioning this theme really since, well, over the weekend. And I had said I would go ahead and start taking trades into major resistance points, even on open drives higher. And then the last part was that I said was that I would skip or avoid taking a short prior to the data coming out. So all of those things started to add up in the first couple of minutes. You can see that while... Oh, and then the last thing I mentioned was if you weren't sure that we were having an open drive higher, at least wait for the first 15 minutes, right? And then what would be our test to see if we had strength or weakness? Well, first of all, approximately half gap would need to get filled, right? Or full gap. We had neither one of those tested. We didn't come anywhere close to testing Monday's high. Again, that was another issue. Out of the gate, we cleared above Globex high, okay, right here, and we never closed back below it on a 5-minute basis. Even without the other pieces of the formula, the first low on the first 5-minute bar was never violated. A lot of evidence, right, that we were going to have a strong move out of the gate, and obviously we were already up 10 to begin with, and we went ahead and drove from essentially 70, 71 right in this area, all the way up to, let's see, all the way up to 70, I believe 76 3/4, or 77, excuse me, 77 1/4 was the high today. Now, I did mention in pre-market that I would take a trade here somewhere in this zone, pretty much no matter what. Right? Unless it hit prior to the econ being released was the only time, but the only reason I wouldn't have taken a trade here. And that's exactly what I did. At 77, which was roughly the middle of the zone, I took a short, and I had a 3-point stop behind, and you can tell I took very little heat back to the downside. I pretty much put this out as I was trading. I also pointed out, and I want to just go through the clues that had added up to why we had such a successful morning, right? If you look at this is pre-market. Okay, here is our open right here. And I pretty much told everyone, draw this trend line underneath. When we are trending up pre-market, we tend to have a pretty strong morning off out of the gate, and that also, obviously, we've been trending up for a couple of days. I mean, that's not rocket science here. Obviously, we've been going up, and that was the easiest route right now. Also, another big thing that I wanted to point out here was, if you look at the daily, right, each time we had gotten up to this point, we have rejected, either stopped or rejected out of this area. Ever since we established this high. So we had rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. So the mere fact that we gapped up into this area and we did not have any rejection right out of the gate kind of tipped the hand that, hey, the market's actually kind of pretty strong here, right? You have to think. And then so I had a conversation with a couple of clients today, right? And so here's the deal. usually we get two-way markets, meaning even in up markets we'll get some rotations down, and then the stronger rotations will be back up. Part of being a trader is knowing which side is stronger. Okay, and then if you can get positioned to the long side, if you can be positioned with the stronger side of the trade, that's great. Here's my issue this morning, and I said before the market ever opened why I would not be long out of the gate. And that goes back to a discipline deal that I have. Okay, this gave me absolutely no rotation lower to get long. Had we come down even into Monday's highs, it would have given me an opportunity to get long, and I would have taken it gladly. But what all traders fantasize about, or many retail traders fantasize about, is being able to do this kind of this switch game. One day I can buy at the open, the next day I'll magically know that I need a rotation down, and that you will flip with those scenarios automatically each and every time and never, ever make a mistake doing it. And that is, for most of us, ridiculous. Okay, most of us, myself included, cannot make that switch quick enough not to make any errors and to keep well above. In my case, I need to keep almost at 70% win rates, okay, for a trade to be successful for me. And I know precious few traders who can mentally make that shift quick enough. Most traders can't make a shift quick enough to figure out to get short in the morning after a run up and then flip around and get long. Many traders just have that basic struggle. So figuring out which gap ups to buy and which gap ups to sell, man, that is just, for the most part, beyond me. Every once in a while I can catch it when there's a divergence between NQ and ES. But the majority of the time, my singular purpose here is not to lose money in this first half hour, right, and get crushed, when I know if I'm just patient, I'll get a sweetheart setup, right, at a great location. I was able to take 2 points on the first 2/3 of this, and then the last third I covered right at 72 1/4 for almost a 5-point gain on the last third of that trade. That is a good trade that pays all my bills today, folks. Probably for the week and the month if I need it to, but that was a very good trade and one that I was very happy with. You can see that after we got into 11 o'clock, right, we got a responsive buyer the first time into the back at the 72 area for a trip back up to 74, and then we kind of started chopping around here over lunch, which is very common. It's hard to trade when you have a 2-point range, right? And then in the afternoon, right, look at the strength here. This is just awesome. There's not much else you can say. It's pretty much higher lows started occurring just after, just at the beginning actually of New York lunch, although we were still in this chop range. And then afterwards, there just was no lower low anywhere in here. Additionally, let's take a look at NQ really quick. And again, I'm trying to keep this a little bit shorter to help people out, not lose interest so quickly. Okay, NQ has been dragging us down, okay, each and every day. I want to show you something. This is a 5-minute bar. Didn't mean to do that. Let's switch back over here, guys. Seriously. Oh, I see the problem. Well, I don't know how many times I can do this. There we go. Okay, here we go. Prior to the open, we also had an uptrend going right here. Okay, this, folks, is an open drive higher. Picture it, print it. This is picture textbook open drive higher. There's no way that you can mistake. There's no way that you can mistake that. You had to know that NQ was going to be on fire. This is the first hour high. We trapped below first hour high. But look, relatively speaking, look how far the rotation up is. Look how small the rotation down is. If you got smoked at the end of the day here, it's because you just didn't sit back and think, hey, there's no sellers on NQ today, right? We didn't come anywhere close to the first hour low. There's hardly any retrace. There's no attempt at gap fill. I don't have anything else to say about it. That's up, up, and more up. I'm glad I pulled off one ES trade that was perfect. NQ didn't provide a whole lot of opportunity to get long either way, but you certainly could have avoided taking any heat. And I guess that's the theme for today. So remember, on open drives, if you can't identify them, you have a hard time, it's best, given the number of open drives that we've had, to skip the first half hour, right? If you know you have big econ coming out, Let them chop it around the first half hour, then you get positioned. Okay. Secondly, you got to be able to read the tea leaves a little bit. If NQ's been weak every day for 2 weeks and all of a sudden it's exploding with strength, and ES has been strong, the stronger of the two this whole time, well, you have a pretty good idea that we're going to have some rotations up. You got to scale on your shorts down, and if you can, look for location to get long. The last part is being a disciplined trader. Even if you can't get that, chasers and ES, I hear it all the time. I speak to traders all the time. People who trade ES lose money. Right? That's pretty much been my conclusion from everyone I've spoken to. I know almost zero traders who do it successfully on a day in, day out basis. Every successful trader I know on ES buys on rotations down, sells on rotations up. If they think it's going to be in a big up day, they take that rotation down and they hold it up. But none of them I know buy on a new high tick. None of them I know buy off of a good size rotation higher. They wait for pullbacks. If you don't have the discipline to do that, there's good odds you're going to lose a lot of money trading ES, and you should probably go look at a more suitable momentum trader. Things that come to mind: gold, oil. Let's see, what else would I be looking at? Gold, oil, and possibly the euro, Japanese yen. But ES, that is not the place to be playing. NQ even works better as a momentum trade. But ES, man, that thing is just sick how quickly it'll pull back. And the reason why is, and let me tell you, if you could put a 10-point stop on your chase, you'd probably be all right. But the deal is you put a 2-point stop there, and it's just going to rotate back down and tag you out. You take 2 or 3 of those through the course of the day, you have a small account, or you're trading, it doesn't even matter if you have a small account. You could be trading 10 or 20 contracts, right? That's $100 a pop with a 2-point stop. Right? You take 2 or 3 of those, that's $300 a contract. The money starts to add up relatively quickly. If you're just simply disciplined and let the market come to you, right, and it's just a little bit of discipline, it's not a lot, you make so much more money. Anyways, that's my coaching for tonight. I hope this is a little bit shorter. There was not a lot to talk about. It was up. We got a rotation into a key area. I expected rejection out of that high. I said I was waiting for that high. We got it first time in. Second time in, I wasn't looking for it this short, and the reason why is because you'll see on the third time, right here, let's go back. First time in. Second time in, small rejection. And I imagine if the market could have stayed open another 2 hours, because in after hours we have traded up here to 1883, to the 1883 level. So my guess is we're going to gap above all-time highs tomorrow, right? So I'm not going to be overly eager to short unless I can see us back below this year-to-date height tomorrow. Right now, you can go in there thinking you're going to be a hero and capture the high, but man, that's going to be a hard bet to make. That's all I can say. So if we open below, different story, but on gapaways, markets tend to break out on gapaways, and it sure as heck looks like we are going to have a gap up tomorrow morning, at least in this point. So everyone have a great night. My name is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Goodbye now.